Few tears were shed when Manchester United announced that Paul Pogba would be leaving the club after his contract expires at the end of this month. Pogba, who United resigned from Juventus for £89 million in 2016, has been a divisive figure among the Old Trafford fanbase. For many, he has not come close to justifying his price tag or reputation. Sportsmail revealed on Wednesday that the 29-year-old Frenchman, who looks destined to return to Juventus on a free transfer, will walk away with a £78 million loyalty bonus when he leaves, bringing the total cost to United to a whopping £219 million. But he is not the only expensive flop to have spectacularly failed to deliver. Here, Sportsmail ranks the 10 worst, and most costly, signings United have made in the Premier League era. Considerable excitement greeted the Dutch winger's arrival at Old Trafford in the summer of 2015. Depay came with a reputation of being lively, tricky and direct, but he could not bring that to the Premier League. He made 53 appearances for United, scoring 7 goals, including 2 in a promising showing in a Champions League playoff with Club Brugge, and made 6 assists before he was sold to Lyon midway through Jose Mourinho's a case of right player at the wrong time, perhaps. Even the staunchest of United fans will be forgiven for failing to remember this Chilean striker ever. Well, that's because he didn't. Enriquez would feature on a list of Sir Alex Ferguson's most peculiar transfers, more of those later, as he joined as a relative unknown for nearly £5 million. He was never given a senior appearance by Ferguson, who said at the time that the youngster had made a tremendous impact on the game in his short career so far, and was farmed out to Wigan, Real Saragossa and Dinamo Zagreb before eventually signing for the Croatian side in 20. Enriquez cost more than Teddy Sheringham, who won the treble for United. A bizarre move all. While there was no doubting the promise of the Frenchman, eyebrows were raised nonetheless at United stumping up a world record fee for a teenager to sign the French winger. Martial had hardly set the world alight in League One, scoring 8 goals in 31 league games prior to his transfer. After netting a superb individual effort against United's archrivals Liverpool on his home debut, and the winner in an FA Cup semi-final, in his first season, the difficulties began to set in for the talented forward. Save for the second half of the 2019-20 season, he has struggled for consistency and was shipped out to Sevilla on loan in January. His future at the club under new manager Erik ten Hag looks bleak. The midfielder's signing was considered a coup for United, who thought they were getting one of the best players in the world in his. Sadly, it did not work out that way for the silky, suave Argentinian. After a bright start to his career at Old Trafford, he endured somewhat of a torrid time in Manchester as he struggled to cope with the relentlessness of the schedule. Varane's second season was not much better as United cut their losses and sold him to Chelsea for £15 million at the end of the campaign. One of the more memorable moments during Varane's ill-fated spell at Old Trafford was when criticism of his performances sparked a trademark expletive-laden rant from Ferguson. Varane, is a great player, he told journalists. In Euro £5,963 a minute. That is the reported cost of the German's United career, which never really kicked in. Like Varane, the signing of Schweinsteiger was seen as a shrewd piece of business. He arrived as a legendary figure, whose reputation could only be enhanced by playing in the Premier League, right? He featured in just 35 matches for the club in nearly 2 years but pocketed around £12 million in wages, a staggering figure for a player who at one point was ruthlessly demoted to training with the under-23s by Mourinho. Schweinsteiger later revealed that he was first refused access into the first-team dressing room on what was his 32nd birthday. Ouch. Babes' £7 million move to Old Trafford is possibly the most bizarre signing in United's history, so strange that it was even investigated by the Portuguese police. There is not a great deal to say about BB other than he will go down in the annals of transfer history at United, and not for the fact that he was signed by Manchester United without Ferguson watching him was alarming and a mistake, the legendary Scot admit. BB, who United incredibly hoped would turn out to be another Cristiano Ronaldo, made 7 appearances in his first season and none in the following 3 years as he spent the majority of that out on another, if only for United fans. The Colombian striker's arrival was widely heralded, given his prolific goal-scoring record and the club's need for a proper number 9, but there was a reason the club chose not to make his loan move permanent. Falcao, who earned cult hero status with United's fan base not long after joining, got on the scoresheet on just 4 occasions in 29 appearances for the Red Devils, a return that few would have bet on. Not only did United fork out £6 million to snatch him on loan, more than they paid for now legendary fullback Patrice Evra, but Falcao's wages were astronomical, no matter what estimate you choose. Reports suggest Falcao was on between £180,000 and £265,000 a week at Old Trafford. Analysis on his salary carried out in the aftermath of his exit revealed United essentially paid him £4 million for every goal he scored. A fully deserved place in the top 3 for the departing Frenchman, who came close to the silver medal. Where to start with Pogba? When he came back from Juventus to join the team he had left for free in 2012, It was a marquee signing for United and a statement from a club which was not in the champ. Yet, as he prepares to wave goodbye to United, who he had joined as a teenager, you could count the number of Pogba's truly great performances on one hand with fingers to spare. In truth, he did not deserve the gushing 800-odd word statement he got from United on Tuesday. To say his second spell at Old Trafford will not be remembered fondly is an understatement, and that is before you take into account the hefty finance on outlay alone. This was a disaster. In the space of a year, United made a £15.4 million loss on a player who was heralded as the catalyst of the post-Ferguson era. In August 2014, Di Maria joined the club for a then British record fee from Real Madrid, having just played a key role in the Spanish Giants winning La Decima, their 10th European Cup. The Argentinian that featured in 6 different positions at United was a shadow of the player the club thought. A burglary at his family home in January 2015 clearly will not have helped matters, but it speaks to how much he struggled that he was booed when he returned to Old Trafford with PSG, and Di Maria responded by drinking a beer that had been thrown from the crowd. But his former club, of course, had the last laugh with their epic comeback win in Paris. A man who was better on the piano than in a United shirt, Sanchez is the poster boy for the club's terrible recruitment in the nearly 10 years since Ferguson retired. 5 goals in 45 matches at £560,000 per week was awful business from the United hierarchy. He scored a goal every 555 minutes and was injured for a grand total of 124 days during his time. He eventually left in August 2020 on a free transfer to Inter Milan, but not without a £9 million payoff from. It could have been worse, though, as he was entitled to earn a further £50 million across the 2 years still remain. Calling the move a disaster does not come close to the truth. A disaster of epic proportions that led to both parties being glad to see the